Hi, Alfred.
Hi, good evening, Odette. I was wondering what
Mag
was happening.
magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi sa iyong lahat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome once more to an evening with us here at Madz. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Good evening, Philippines.
And a special good afternoon and good morning to all of our listeners from all over the world. Welcome to Madz Talk, your weekly dose of songs, stories, and shared passion.
And inspiration,
And
and learning, and joy, and many more things in between.
yes, every weekend we bring you different topics, different themes, and different ways of just finding fun, joy, inspiration, and connection, most especially in these challenging times.
The opening video that you watched, for those of you who came early to the show, that was a live performance of the Madz of the madrigal Que se tu sel cor mio by the madrigalist Claudio Monteverdi.
Yes.
We hope
And
you
to-
enjoyed that.
Today and next Sunday, we bring you a back-to-back episode or back-to-back episodes entitled Huhuhu and Hahaha, the Mad's playlist of Hugot and Halakhakan.
In other words, we are going to, so today we are going to focus on just the first half.
Yes, the first one. We're just going to focus on Hugot because we will do Halakhakan next Sunday on July 5. But for tonight, we will focus on Hugot and everything that is heartwarming, all moments and songs of the Mads tonight will be full of heart.
For tonight's episode, we have more guests joining us virtually, or shall we say in person, from all over the world
Yay!
and from different time zones across different decades of the Mads. So today in person, we'd like you to welcome, virtually in person, let us welcome our guests. There is Katrina Saga. There is from New York, not New York, Cubao, Quezon City, but New York, Leo Paolo Leal, and Marvin Gayatgay, also
virtually in person. Let us welcome our guests. There is Katrina
May
Saga.
echo tayo.
There is from New York.
Hello! Mabuhay!
Hello! Mabuhay!
Hey!
Good
Good
morning!
morning, everyone.
Good
Ay,
morning
magandang
and good
gabi.
evening.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas.
Good
Good evening.
Can you
Good evening,
Leo.
Philippines.
can you further introduce yourselves by telling our listeners when did you sing with the Mads?
Hi everyone.
Bukingan.
I'm Katrina Saga. I sing soprano with the Madz, and I've been with the Madz for 7 years. Hi to all who are tuning in, especially to my family from Dumaguete City. Hi.
Marvin.
Good evening, good morning. Good morning, New York. Good evening, Philippines. My name is Marvin Gayatgay. I sang with the Madz for, say, between 7 to 8 years.
Wow.
Tagal na.
And Leo.
Hel-
Hi, Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. I sang with the Mads cumulatively for about 6 years. Ayan. Putol-putol kasi.
Ayaw nyo sabihin yung year. You don't want to mention the year.
Oh,
Okay.
Let us
Okay
not
na
talk
yun.
about the year.
Okay na yun.
Let us not talk about the year, okay?
So, Alfred, you mentioned about Hugot. So we can
Wait,
say
I have
that
a question. Hang on.
Yeah.
Odette. So, wait, we have a lot of foreign listeners, not Pinoy speakers. So we've been talking about hugot. So we're telling our non-Pinoy listeners, you're going to learn one Pinoy word, at least one Pinoy word, we guarantee you, and that is the name hugot. That's the word hugot. So before the end of this episode, you will learn this street term, daily term. It probably not yet in the formal dictionary. What is hugot? So I have the same question. I am not a native Tagalog speaker. Ilonggo po ako. So you notice my punto. What is hugot? Ano ba yung hugot? Please define.
for me, it's an area of expertise.
Ay, sus.
For a lot. But kidding aside, when I hear the word hugot, I imagine myself dropping a dramatic line in the air because I don't have the courage to direct it to the person concerned.
Ay,
Ay.
sino pong natamaan dyan?
It's always a matter of the heart. It's always
Yeah.
that
Matters
is so
of
good
the
for me.
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yan ba yan,
in
Leo? That's
Oo,
your
there you
definition
go.
of hugot? Matters of the heart?
Matters of the heart. It depends on the person. So you can hugot alone or you could hugot with
Huh?
somebody else.
Or with a group.
In a group.
Good answer. I like that. I'm gonna write that down.
For,
Marvin, para sa'yo.
for me, hugot is journey.
Ay.
Malalim, di ba?
Oh.
That's a story. Yeah, mamaya na. Pero journey siya. Maraming
And-
pinagdadaanan. Could be
Okay.
also an inspiration. So that's a hugot for me.
And Kat?
Okay.
Hugot is letting all of your emotions out. Yung hindi mo na kaya. Heart and soul and everything in between.
Okay. So given all that you have said about hugot, it sounds pretty deadly to me. So before we get any deadlier here, if you noticed, we asked you, our listeners, to help us define what hugot is using the words or using the songs that the Madz have sung. So we'd like to show you the result of that particular survey. We're going to show you the first slide. Okay. So,
Whoa.
of course, you
Wow.
will see that yung songs that are, a little bit bigger and, are more emphasized.
Wow.
These are the songs that came out on top. So obviously, the number one song would have to be Bukas na lang kita mamahalin. And then
Wow.
we also recognize a few more famous titles such as Sana'y Wala Nang Wakas, Pangarap Ko'y Ibigin Ka, Bituing Walang Ningning, Now That I Have You, Love of My Life, and so on and so forth. So, ito yung our audience has spoken. Ito yung result.
So
ng
how
ating
about our
survey.
panel? Let's ask them, among the songs from the list, which for you is your most major emotion-wrenching, heart-wrenching songs? So can we hear from our guests, what's your heart-wrenching?
Well, kung heart-wrenching po talaga is, well, I would say Bukas na lang kita mamalhin. Other than it was assigned for me to sing the solo. I'm so honored to have done the solo for that for almost 2-3 years ago, and we brought it internationally, and sobra siyang inappreciate not only for the Filipino audience, and kahit hindi nila alam yung meaning, even if they don't know the meaning, they know the feeling and the emotion just because we sing it to them directly without a conductor in front of us, and through our eyes especially we convey the message. And I experienced that before when I fell in love with somebody and he doesn't like me, so aray, so ouch.
Hugot yan. Hugot yan yung
yes.
may mahal ka, hindi ka niya mahal.
Oh, but that was ages ago, so wala na yan. But yeah, that's I think on the top of my list, yeah.
What about Leo?
Ako, I didn't see it in the list, but my hugot is Iniibig Kita. Whenever we sing this
Yes.
in abroad, they don't understand what it means, but we only explain Iniibig Kita is I love you. So they usually feel the song, and then they would always get the translation of the song whenever we sing it. It's an all-male, it's harana. It's sung by the harana. So for me, that's my hugot. And it can be interpreted in a very bad or good way. So if you're feeling, it depends on your mood. So if you're feeling loved, it could be your song. Or if you feel left by someone, it could be your song too.
I remember Iniibig Kita is by the National Artist for Music.
Yes, National Artist for Music, Mr. C, Ryan Kibyab. Yes.
Marvin, your hugot song.
I just want to clarify, is it tough or top?
Tough.
Kasi sa tough, number one sa list ko yung How Did You Know? Kasi yun na, mataas na.
Siyempre.
Bibirit na.
Soft. Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
solo, di ba? But for me, it's Sana'y Wala ng Wakas. It's Sana'y Wala ng Wakas. Very meaningful sa akin yung Sana'y Wala ng Wakas because nung ako'y sumasali sa mga inter-school singing competition, nagamit ko yung Sana'y Wala ng Wakas. Pinanalo ako.
May history.
Wow.
May history.
As a soloist.
As a soloist. Yeah.
Ano ka pala?
So
Ano
many
ka-
of these
Wow.
songs that our guests are mentioning, or some of our the pollsters are telling us, for our listeners, many of these songs are published in YouTube or in Facebook, and where we need to
Yes.
point you out, we will point you out. But this show has homework, so you're gonna hear a lot of playlists, but we cannot play everything because this is not a
Yeah.
5-hour show. You have to go and listen to it. So you have to come to the show with a piece of paper, a wish list or a playlist. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
Katrina's solo is recently shared on Facebook by Mark Carpio himself.
Yes.
So go to his
Thank you, Sir
Facebook and you
Mark.
will see that performance. Okay,
Yeah.
Odette.
Napakaganda. So, but I know that, we have a lot of famous songs in that list. Basta lang kitang mamahalin. Always as an audience, I hear it all the time kasi yun parang, I think it's one of the first, it's either the first or the second encore number of the Madz, I think, if it's not on the regular program. But I'd like to just focus on one particular song that, caught my attention, and that is Comme d'habitude. It's one of the most beautiful songs that I have ever heard the Madz sing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, sing it, but I hear it a lot of times, and I personally believe that it's one of the most beautiful songs. Our listeners might have heard it also, but not a lot of us know the story behind it. And so, to help us out with that, we have asked the help of our friend, Mr. Igor Bailen, from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Here's his review.
Hi, I am Igor Bailen. I am a lawyer at the Department of Foreign Affairs. Growing up in UP campus in Diliman, I was used to watching performances by the Philippine Madrigal Singers because my mother, who was a voice teacher, would take me to their performances. However, I didn't really become a fan, I have to admit, of the Philippine Madrigal Singers until many years later. In 1997, when I heard them perform two songs, when Henry Kissinger went to UP to receive an honorary doctorate, and the Madz sang Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler and Paraiso by national artist Ryan Cayabyab. But I didn't really become friends with them until, again, after so many years, I was already in Paris as a consul in the Philippine Embassy. And for the rest of my stay there, I organized some of their performances in Paris, and two of them stand out. 2007, this was the 60th anniversary of French-Philippine diplomatic relations that was held at the Cathedral Saint Louis des Invalides, near the place where Napoleon is buried. And the second, in 2009, at UNESCO headquarters, was actually my last event in Paris, and the occasion was the Madz being designated as UNESCO Artists for Peace, one of my best projects while I was there. In both performances, I think they sang this song, and this song is the most famous, most requested, most dangerous song sung in the Philippine karaoke circuit, and you know what I'm talking about. Except that they sang it not the way most of us know it, but they sang it, of course, in the original French. The original French is entitled Comme d'habitude. It was a song by the late French artist Claude Francois. Paul Anka's My Way is totally different. It is about a man or a woman and struggling for identity or individuality in an otherwise harsh and cruel world. While Comme d'habitude, it is a simple love story. A love story which is about to end. It is sung by the man, which should also be the woman or another partner, as they are breaking up, and he or she is alone or lonely, trying to let go and maybe eventually pick up the pieces and move on. So this song goes out for every one of you who has suffered heartbreak and moved on, presenting Comme d'habitude by Claude Francois, interpreted by the Philippine Madrigal Singers. Bonjour.
Oh.
Oh,
Sir Igor.
hi, Sir Igor.
Kat, you've sung this, with the Madz, and also Marvin.
Yes, with Leo,
And with
Yes.
Leo.
2000,
Okay.
2007.
I mean,
2007.
I'm interested to know because of course it's in another it's in a foreign language. Tapos it's popular, it's deadly. So I'd like you to tell us, what do you recall about how the Mads studied and eventually interpreted this song? Leo.
So, that was a while back. So, but I remember, of course, the French was challenging, but we had somebody in the Mads that time who spoke French. He had intermediate French, so he was able to. That his name was is Johanny Rolmolo, our baritone soloist. So he was able to coach us. Also, Chris Borella also would, coach us with the pronunciation. But most of us didn't know how to speak French. But when we got there, we had extra help, with the people who spoke the language when we got to France. But what I remember is from that concert that Sir Igor was telling us about. It was a very interesting program because it was English and French. So there's always an equivalent for each Filipino song. So for example, if there is a nationalistic song in the Philippines, like Ang Bayan Ko, we would sing a version of that, like La Marseillaise or something like that. So for this, I think we sang, if I'm not mistaken, we sang Between Walang Niming before this. So parang ganun yung ano niya. It's like that.
Equivalent.
There's an equivalent. But when we were learning it, it was easy because there was a guitar, and then the challenges was for me was the French and how to make it Mads. The sound of them. I think that was a challenge for everybody and for Sir Mark. Yeah.
Marvin, what do you think?
Sa akin, malaki kasi ang influence sa akin ni Frank Sinatra. Si Frank Sinatra, si Engelbert Humperdinck, and Tom Jones.
Wow.
Yung tatlo na yan. So while learning and performing the song, siya ang naiisip ko na nasa gitna. But for me na hindi nag-music, talagang nosebleed ang Friends. Pero very inspiring, ang ganda.
That's nice, no? So Frank Sinatra helped in that way. Kat, what about you?
Yes, we recently brought this song internationally last 2017, I think, and so mga almost 9 to 10 years after Kinakuya Leo. And so since they already had established their interpretation, it was very, very easy for us to just go along with it, but put our own twist and sound.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to be in France in 2016. So we already had a bit of French tongue in that time. And we, of course, being with the Mads, singing it in the semicircle is already a very big plus for us, singing it directly with our eyes to the audience. And also, one addition was the poetry, and we were able to discuss the poetry before we sing the song. So the audience, even for the non-French speaking ones, they got to know the story behind the song, and they can relate to it. So that was very, very memorable to me.
Pero very, very important ang sinabi ni Igor Bailen, which I just discovered also a few days ago while preparing for the show, that the French version, the French original, don't say it's a version, the French original is a totally different story from the My Way that kinakanta na that everybody in the Philippines, lahat ng karaoke.
Exactly.
That's a totally
But
different story.
When I first sang this, I didn't even know that it was a French song. So I was really I didn't
Me
even
too,
know.
yes.
So in that way, I was educated, and we educated a lot of people by singing that. It's like, oh, it's French pala. Yeah.
So iba yung story. So if you go back to the text, magiging change, mag-change. So you do not interpret it like the karaoke version. You have to interpret it quite different.
It was like a breath of fresh air to them, actually.
Yes.
So now it
So
becomes
the text.
Anna.
it becomes a totally different kind of hugot. Yeah. Thanks to
especially
again,
when the obligato comes up. Yeah.
Especially that part. It's more heart-wrenching.
So
Si Anna arranged that, no? Anna Beleda.
Yes.
Thank you, Ma'am Anna.
Thanks to Anna for bringing out that interpretation.
Pero we are Filipinos. We Filipino choirs really like to do hugot songs. So for our non-Pinoy speakers, you're starting to get an idea when we say hugot what it sort of means. Emotion is not the complete meaning, di ba? Parang iba yung may ganon, no? May ganon.
Yeah.
So mahilig tayo sa hugot. Mga Filipino choirs, tell me one Filipino choir na walang hugot. And hugot is not just liad and saksak. and sakal or something. There's very wide, the range of hugot could be many things. So Filipinos are very, very fond of hugot. At saka Filipino songs, yung lyrics, oh my God, talagang ilang dagat ang aking tatawid.
Exactly.
How many oceans I will cross. Yung may mga reach for the stars, mga ganun. Bukas na lang kitang mamahalin. I will love you tomorrow. Unrequited love. So very interesting yung question na yan. Why do Filipinos in general and why do Filipino choirs in particular like to sing hugot songs? Why do Filipino choirs? Bakit ang hilig-hilig natin sa hugot? Bakit ang drama-drama natin? Gustong-gusto natin yung madrama. May mga medyo all-out drama, medyo mga lupasay kind of drama, yung mga roll in the streets kind of drama, and there are some little bit more reserved kind of drama, medyo classy, elegant kind of drama. But nonetheless, we like drama.
Yes, we like drama. We asked the help of a dear friend, of course, one of our former singers. We can call him an expert to help us out with that particular question as to why Filipinos in general love hugot songs. So would like to hear from him. Dr. Arwin Tan, come in.
My first answer was Prayer of Saint Francis because it's my all-time favorite. Naalala ko pag kinakanta natin lahat yun, complete with all the hand gestures. Ramdam na ramdam ko talaga yan. Bakit mahilig ang Filipino choirs, singers, and audience sa hugot songs? Ang Filipino talaga innately ay madamdamin. And because of the oppressions, the many hardships that we experience as people, yung resilience natin lumalabas sa gusto natin ipakita minsan pag tayo ay nagpo-perform. And when we perform, gusto natin nararamdaman na ilalabas yung pakiramdam natin. Gusto natin na ang audience natin, through our songs, nakikita nila yung loob ng ating damdamin. Also, probably because we are not confrontational people, so most of the messages that are meaningful and important to us, we normally sometimes use art. And ano pa ba naman ang pinakamadamdaming art form kundi ang music. And I think this is what makes Madz really one of the most sought after choirs. Kasi pag sinabi mong kumanta ng hugot songs, hindi lang hugot ang binibigay ng Madz. Meron pang hugot, meron pang haplos, at saka the embracing sound of it all.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Arwin
Thank you, Sir
Tan.
Dr.
Arwin.
Hi, Sir Arwin.
Arwin.
Hey, Sir Arwin.
So ang ganda nung sinabi niya, no, talagang it's
Yes.
really innate to us Filipinos yung pagiging hugot na yung emotional because of, you know, we have lots of experiences then as a nation. So I like yun talaga yung sinabi niya. I like that part very much. Naintindihan na.
Embracing sound, sabi niya, di ba? Embracing.
Yes.
Embracing applause. Yes.
Embracing sound. But he also talked about like us being non-confrontational. That really, nga no. So parang kasi nga kasi as parang siguro sa culture, di ba, we're non-confrontational in nature, but that's why probably our outlet is music or dun na lang we could just pour it all out there. Yeah.
Either kakanta or susulat ng music or magpe-play ng instrument kasi nga hindi naman pala away. So hindi pala away. So yun yung so thanks again to Dr. Arwin Tan. Oh, by the way, before we go any further, we'd like to encourage our listeners to drop a line or two at the comment section of this Facebook Live and let us know what you think, or if you have questions, maybe we'll try to answer them in a while.
I have a quick question, just a small question for those of you sang Comme d'habitude. There's another French song that the Madz sings, and I frankly have never sung it, so I kind of like, which is which? The other one is C'est fini la comédie.
Sa Fini la
The Fini la Comédie, yes, by Dalida.
Nakanta ko.
Hindi ko na nabutan.
So
Ikaw,
Leo,
Marvin.
Marvin, what do you
Nakanta ko siya.
remember about?
One time, nakanta namin siya sa workshop sa France, early in the morning, and then ng mga tao, syempre, attendees yun ng workshop eh. At talagang makapagdamdamdamin ang pagkanta, pati yung interpretation ng Madz. Maganda. Actually, kilala siya. Kahit hindi, sa mga taong nakilala ko dito sa New York, gustong-gusto nila ang Symphony din.
Yeah, it was sung by Dalida.
Mm-hmm.
So Dalida is a very famous singer in France.
Yes.
Like parang Regine Sharon levels, you know. So everybody parang knows about the song. So when they heard it, parang ay, ba't nila alam to? Parang gano'n.
And roughly the song talks about just ending love.
It's a very sad song.
Yes. Yeah. Everything is it's over. Yun. So it's really
parang both siya going to end.
Parang
hubot.
Ano ba yun? Parang what's that song yung parang
Can I read the line? I found the line and ano lang, just one, and it said, "We loved one another so long that we forgot the time. That all along was changing the scenes of joy to pain." So, medyo ano siya.
So look for that, listeners. Look for that in YouTube or in any of the Facebook page, and then listen to it with the text in mind. So Google the text first, and then look at it again, and then you will discover something different.
Favorite ko din yung Obligato dyan.
Would you guys remember kung sino nag-arrange ng Symphony la Comédie? Sir Mark?
Delgado.
Are you listening,
Robert
Sir Mark?
Diba?
Is it?
I think Sir Robert ba? It's either Sir Robert or Ate Ana.
Yeah.
Okay. Symphony
Alam
la
ko si
Comédie.
Sir
Mga
Robert
hugot
Delgado.
arrangers natin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alfred?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yung question, I have a question again, going back to my question about hugot. So, it seems like the hugot is always about boyfriend, girlfriend, mag-asawa, yung mga minahal kita pero hindi mo ako mahal, or minahal kita pero may mahal ka ng iba, or mahal na kita kaso best friend lang pala tayo. Is hugot restricted to that kind of an environment where it's always about love or unrequited love or fulfilled love or all kinds of love? Is there some other kind of hugot here, Claudette?
And I was surprised that it was actually our audience from the survey who taught me that hugot is not just about boyfriend, girlfriend, or the love that we know, but we are going to show this list that we called the spiritual or the
Soul.
soul hugot. And would like to see this particular slide, please. So there, the people who answered our survey gave us these answers. Of course, number one would be the prayer of Saint Francis, and they also particularly liked Light of a Million Mornings and Father Arnold Zamora's My Life in You. You
My life in
also
you.
see a most recent work there featured here on or premiered here on Facebook. That is "Be Still My Soul" by Ivy Mañano and some other songs of the Madz there. So I was quite surprised that yung hugot pala is not just about yung hugot na tungkol sa pag-ibig or about love, but it is a spiritual kind of yearning, a yearning of the soul or the soul's search for a deeper meaning. And
Yes.
to help us, we have someone from the Madz also who shared to us her experience of this particular kind of hugot and a very specific song that is her favorite. Can we have that video, please?
Hi,
Uh,
my name is Joy Relucio Moritz from batch 1991 to 1996. My most emotional or inspirational song I have sung with the group is the song Eli Eli of Bardos. Eli Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me? We sang this song in 1991, Taipei, Taiwan, during the Holy Week. I was always moved to tears every time we sang this song. The music invokes the topic of Jesus' lamentations with its chromatically ascending and descending tones, and the composer have used a varied of clustered tones in expressing the deep emotions of despair, anger, grief, and sorrow. So for me, it was difficult not to be aware of these emotions. So it always caught me every time we sang this song during the concert. And it was always difficult not to start whipping while singing.
Wow.
Thank you,
Naabutan
Ate
nyo ba
Jo.
yan? Naabutan nyo ba yan?
no.
Unfortunately, no.
Oo. Ako, naabutan ko.
Oh, God.
Ako, naabutan ko.
Pero hindi
Ilan
sa
taon ka na
Madz.
ba, Leo?
Hindi sa Madz.
Kaedad ko si Leo. Sabay kami.
Bata ka pala,
Leo and I are batchmates.
Bata ka pa pala.
Leo, would you like to tell us about your particular
Wow.
experience about this song that none of us have sung before?
Well, I sang this with another choir with the De La Salle University Chorale before I joined the Madz. That was back in 1995. I was a teenager back then. So this song was I think a compulsory piece for Spital Austria. So we sang this, and then as what Ate Joy said, the way the composer set it, the chromatics and the cluster tones would really parang invoke what you would feel when Jesus was at the cross. So it is very emotional, especially when there are pianissimos and then there's a forte by the altos, but it's a very challenging piece in a sense that it requires a lot vocally from you. That time I sang bass.
Wow.
At the time. So I know. So the way I remember it was the whole. I think the song itself would require the audience to behave a certain way. Parang everybody was quiet and still because they already know what Eli Eli
It
na Masarap
means,
Bakani
yes,
is. Yeah. So it sets the tone. Yeah, but it's one of the great hits ika nga nung 80s and 90s. Yeah, the
Many
choral world.
choirs sing that.
Yeah.
Many
I think
Filipino
I
choirs
think
sing that.
also the arrangement itself would bring you to that particular disposition that Leo is telling us.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
kasi
Very
it starts,
important.
It starts with just one note and then very, very soft. So I
Develops.
guess as soon as the choir, because I heard it with the Madz, not live. I heard it only with the cassette tape pa nun eh. So wala pang mga CD. So even before I joined the Madz, I was a big fan. So our conductor had that tape and then he shared it to us. And one of the songs there was Eli Eli. So I knew, and it just like what Ate Joy said, it really gives you that. The arrangement itself was really just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There
when you
too-
sing it,
Yeah.
sorry. And when you sing it, it starts with a unison and then it breaks down.
Yes.
Parang
it does.
etchir ka oram, di ba? Parang,
Mm.
so when you're about to compete it, parang, okay, one note.
Careful. Careful. So
Careful,
it's
Leo, you mentioned something that reminded me because I did sing this with the Madz. Okay, so yan na, nagkabukingan na. Two things. The first one was, Leo mentioned this alto line. There's this, something like that, no?
the end.
Talagang, oh my God, it's like
Yes,
your
the alto
heart
parts,
is you want to tear
My
your
God.
heart out of your chest. The second one that I remember was Ma'am OA said, I don't remember which part, but she said when we were interpreting it, she wasn't going to the technicality. She said, imagine the nails going into Jesus' hands. This is it. And that's how she put it. And that's the imagery that you have in your mind. And then said, okay, then let's sing it. It's like, okay, how bloody. So for me, it was like, okay, this is the bloody part. It's vocally bloody. And then Ma'am O would say, the nails. It's like not even the text. She's saying the nails. Oh, okay. That's very, very vivid. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the kind of hugot that we did not expect tonight.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were surprised. Our
Yeah.
listeners, our viewers had this long list of like, wow.
Yeah.
So hugot
Yeah.
is not just about the boyfriend, girlfriend, holding hands sort of a thing. It's
Kind of,
about
romantic.
something deeper than that. So, which brings us to, we're talking about emotions, and we just like to digress a little bit because we're saying that sometimes the hugot or the emotions or the heart-wrenching isn't necessarily from the song. Sometimes the hugot or the emotions comes from the environment and the story or the situation.
Yes.
Even if you're singing a happy song, or if
Yes,
sometimes it has nothing to
definitely.
do with the
It's true.
song, totally with the
True.
environment. So, ika nga, we'd like to introduce our listeners to a very typical Madz terminology. So most of the Madz know this. So the word is Crayola. So non-Filipinos, you know the crayons, the brand of crayons called Crayola. So we just took the word and then referred to Crayola. What's the definition of Crayola? In the Madz culture, Crayola means ugly cry. So let's ask our guests and let's ask our virtual guests and our video guests to explain what is this ugly cry, because this is very common in the Madz. Ugly cry.
Video, please.
Ugly cry moments.
Wow!
Sobrang tagal ng pagkakanta ko na sa Madz. Yung duration ng pagkanta ko. Marami experiences eh. Ang kaso nga lang siguro more of habang kumakanta sa semicircle, bigla ka na lang na-emote sa kinakanta mo. But siguro yung matatandaan ko talaga, o natatandaan ko is yung, actually dalawa. Nung naging national artist si Ma'am OA at saka nung nanalo sa AGP noong 2007. Nung kay Ma'am OA, I think we were in Malacanang that time, but the Madz did not sing, did not perform. So I think I was with Alfred or one of the, not Veyra, maybe Alfred, na nasa likod kami, we're at the back. Tapos, tinawag na si Ma'am OA and then sinabi yung mission ng Madz, yung accomplishments niya, lahat ng mga ginawa niya. And then, out of the blue, biglang nag-flashback ako noong panahon ni Ma'am OA, nang ginagawa niya yung mga yun. Tapos, hindi ko alam, umiiyak na ako. And hindi siya magandang iyak na tumutulo lang yung luha, parang, ganyan. So, uma-ugly cry na ako noon. And second yung sa AGP. So after nung competitions, syempre talagang pagod na pagod ka, exhausted ka, lahat binigay mo kasi. And then we had so tapos na yung competition. So we went out, yung buong Madz and yung mga alumni na nag-support, and then we had lunch, lakad-lakad kami sa Arezzo, and then balik na kami sa, yung feeling ko na mixed feelings, hindi ko maintindihan, siguro dahil sa sobrang pagod. Pero, lang ako, hindi naman sobrang saya, hindi sobrang lungkot, basta hindi ko lang maintindihan yung feelings ko. Tapos, nung in-announce, balik na kami, announcement, binigay na tinawag na yung Madz. Tapos, yung mga Pilipino nandun, tinaas na yung watawat na yung flag natin. Tapos tinawag na kami on stage. Si Sir Mark, nandun lang siya sa stage. Tapos para lang siyang bata na hindi niya alam kung ano yung nararamdaman din niya. Tapos nung nakita ko si Sir Mark, nakita ko yung flag natin, nakita ko yung mga tao na nagwawala. Yun na, hindi ko na maintindihan. Lumabas na yung kung ano yung nararamdaman ko na hindi ko ma-articulate the whole time. Even if yung after kumanta at saka nung nasa labas lang, nag-iintay ng panalo. So, kumanta, nasa stage, kinongratulate. Pa rin ako, parang nanginginig. And then, after nun, pinakanta kami. So, nagsisigawan, hindi mo na maalam, mixed feelings ka na, hindi mo na alam ang nararamdaman mo. Umiiyak ka na, tumatawa ka. Tapos, bigla kayong pinakanta uli. Tapos, hindi ko maintindihan yung kakanta ako, iiyak ako, pero umiiyak ako. Alam mo yun? So, I'm sure lahat ng kasama ko that time, ganun din. Nag-ugly cry kami. Pero kanya-kanya kaming moment. So, hindi ko yun yung mga dalawang experiences na talagang memorable for me as part of the Madz. No? So, ayun. Pero ang number one dyan, syempre, yung Veneration family, kakaibang mag-ugly cry yung nakakahawa. So, anyway, yun yung pwede kong ma-share.
Yay!
So just a quick story to continue with Pearls. Fast forward from EGP to 2007 to Arezzo 2016. Candy Kawilan just sent in this story. I'll just quickly tell you what she said. This is her story. So after the 2016 Arezzo competition, you were inside, the Madz was praying inside, so we could not go to the backstage to pray with them. So some of the Madz were outside, alumni of the Madz were praying, and so a typical Madz fashion, prayer circle. So Candy initiated prayer circle with some of the Madz friends outside, and as they were saying, they suddenly thought of Ma'am OA, and they were saying, let's pray with Ma'am OA. At that time, si Ma'am OA had 2016, so I think she passed away already.
Yeah.
Right? So she said, let's pray to Ma'am OA. She's in heaven right now. And so at that moment, it was almost like, everybody felt like she was there. So the praying descended into an ugly crying. So ganun yung mga so like, wala pa yung competition, naghahabol-bulan na dun sa labas. Okay.
So I'm sure our guests for tonight have their own stories about their ugly cry, ugly cry experiences with the Madz. So maybe we can start with Marvin. Are you going to be first?
Okay, ugly crying. Personal experience kasi I think nakilala ako ng mga tao because of the circle of life. Hindi dahil doon sa bumibirit, but I had a very good experience na talagang very emotional para sa akin dahil that's the night before my flight going here sa States. I secured a certification from Sir Alfred Samonte and Sir Mark Carpio. sinabi ni Sir Alfred na kunin ko siya sa CCP Little Theater. May rehearsals ang Madz dyan. Pero hindi alam ng Madz sa dadating ako that night. So that's the night before na ako lilipad. So na-surprise sila, nagpakita ko. So parang goodbye. And then all of a sudden, merong isang Madz sa kanta tayo ng Circle of Life. So yun yung gabi na hindi ko makalimutan kasi naging circle talaga siya. Hindi siya semicircle, circle. And we ended the night with hugs, tears, positive vibes. Alam ni Katya na
I was
si Katya.
there! Yes.
And we were, it was so touching. It was so touching. Yun ang circle of life ko. Yun ang circle of life ko.
Hugot night mo yun.
Hugot. I have another ugly cry na talagang ito din hindi ko makalimutan. This is during the, I don't know if this is a part of the Cultural Center of the Philippines outreach program. Nasa Iligan kami niyan. Alam kong sa Iligan, but I don't know saang place malapit sa Iligan. Sinabi sa amin, nakakanta kami sa mga typhoon victims. I think months before or few months, weeks before kami dumating. Sinabi nakakantahan namin sila. But hindi namin alam, nakakanta kami mismo sa mismong natabunan ng landslide. Pinakita sa amin, meron tablet doon, nakasulat lahat ng pangalan ng mga tao na namatay. Doon sa mismong tinatayuan namin, meron silang parang isang tablet nakasulat. Pinakanta sa amin ng Ang Pag-ibig. Hindi na yata ako nakakanta. Because kinukwento ng mga tao mismo at nung nag-organize ng event na dinig na dinig po namin yung pag-roll ng mga bato galing sa bundok. Tapos isang buong barangay yung natabunan kung saan kayo nakatayo ngayon. Nagkakaroon ako ng chills.
Oh my gosh.
Kasi naalala ko yung experience. Talagang it's ibang klase. Ibang klase yung experience yan. So doon talaga bumuhos ang luha ko.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Marvin. I think also Kat had her own hugot story or experience.
Yes. It was in 2015, and it was the second anniversary of Typhoon Haiyan, Yolanda, in Tacloban, and we were asked to sing at the Astrodome, outside the Tacloban Astrodome, where they had the monument that I think replicated the height of the surge. So we could only imagine. Oh my God. So how high that surge was, the waves were. And we performed Ave Maria by Caccini with Douglas Niera's Power Dance. And before we sang, there was this little girl who shared her story. I'm not going to expand because it's really, really painful, on the loss of life and of love and the tragedy, and being surrounded by the people, the survivors, and the family of the fallen who were there. And fresh pa yung environment. It was not even very well, what do you call this? Hindi pa naayos yung area. So we only see the Astrodome and that monument. And we sang Ave Maria afterwards. So hindi ko alam kung how I could hide my emotion na agad-agad. I mean, it was split second after she spoke, and then we were already imagining what was happening, and then we sang Ave Maria with Power Dance who danced it, replicating Madonna and Child, or Mary and Jesus in this very, very personal and very emotional dance. So sobrang parang feeling ko kumakanta na kami, pero umiiyak kaming lahat. So I was just grateful we were able to push through with the song. Pero sobrang, that was so painful. Really, really, really. Daggers painful. Sobra.
We just saw the picture or a picture of the Madz singing in that particular monument in Tacloban. And I think we'd also like to just quickly see that picture from the story that Marvin was telling us. Can we see that picture, please? So while waiting, maybe I personally think that when the Madz, hearing the story of Kat and Marvin,
Ito.
Oh my
I
God. Oh
yeah,
my God.
so I know that
Oh,
we are blessing the people that hears our song, but at the same time, just like the circle is complete when we also receive that grace, seeing the people, looking at us while we are singing and showing their emotion. So it's really the full circle, full circle. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing these
yes.
experiences to us.
Thank you.
It's also tough for singers, no, to be
Yeah.
to
Oh,
well,
sing.
for everybody,
Yes, yes,
for
sobra,
every
sobra,
performer to actually
sobra.
hold it together and give the best result that you can give during that time, during those times.
Yes,
I
yes,
think it
yes.
it comes to everyone who performs, to balance emotions, which is the
So
most challenging part, I think.
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
song and the context is a great channel for us, kind of like from my heart to yours. So aside from the ugly cry connection of emotions, we also use the song to connect it in a little bit more joyful, more positive, more hugging way. So we use our music, our song, our voices are very powerful ways to reach out to the world, to reach out to the hearts
Nice.
that are yearning for care, yearning for friendship, yearning for unity, or even just a hug and a smile. So
Yeah,
there's
true.
another sort of a hugot of
Yeah.
world peace, sort of a hugot, Leo.
Leo,
Oh,
what tell us?
so I think this song that you are about to show them is I think performed in Indonesia. So I was with them at the time, but not as a singer. So I just went with them in that tour, and they studied this piece. I think Marvin was there, right? So they studied
Anong kanta?
this they studied this piece for about like 2 days lang. Kasi I remember Eileen the bus. Eileen, who arranged this, Eileen Matthew Maniano, arranging it in the bus because it was a requested song from one of the
Yeah.
organizers, and I think because when they asked her if what Indonesian song they should sing, it's like it came to mind, and then they were already on tour, so he was arranging it on the bus. So but they made it. So this song is Laskar Pelangi,
Oh, all
um,
right.
the Rainbow Troop,
Yes.
sung beautifully by Tommy Vertusho, arranged by
Woo!
Ali Matthew Magnano.
Let's see the clip, please.
Yay!
Can I
Naalala.
tell my can I tell my story about because I was the one who took that video, and I had because normally when I'm with the Mads, because will not have seats in front. We would usually stay at the back or worse outside. But in this particular concert, I had a chance to sit in front. That's why I was able to capture the faces of the Indonesians who were of the audience, and really very, very genuine smiles. I'm sure nakita nyo naman na talagang.
Yes.
At first, they
Yeah.
didn't know what hit them. And then, of course, they know the song, so they know what hit them. But at the end of the song, they still looked very confused, at the same time very, very happy. So, galing.
They didn't know
Very,
how
very
to
good.
jump. They did not know how to jump up and down.
Mayroon akong may story ako diyan sa Lascar. So yan yung night na padating ako galing ng Philippines kasi nauna yung Madz. That's the day before my interview. So naiwan ako sa Pilipinas. Tapos nag-send si Miss Chichi Abelia, nag-send siya ng email. I think wala pang may Facebook na ba ng time na yan? Basta nag-send siya ng message na, Marvin, sabi ni Sir Mark, pakiaral at memorize itong pyesa na to.
Yes, Marvin.
Sabi ko, in 2 days, memorize. So,
But you made it.
You made it.
I know. Tapos, yung flight ko,
Nung afternoon na yun, talagang siya. Ang sobra yung turbulence habang nag-aaral ako ng pyesa. Memorize. Oh my God.
Ayaw kaya
So-
pahabol.
Yeah.
So itong
I
mga
think-
songs na ito na today sa another kind of playlist that we got, no? We had this
I know.
interesting. We don't know what to call it, so we just call it our feel good playlist because
Yes.
some people, this next set of songs, if you look at it, can we have the slide, please? This is the feel good playlist naman.
Yes.
Who good din ito, pero feel good ito. So
Oo.
nabanggit na kaninang Comdabitude.
Mhm.
So
Very quickly lang, the song that we just heard kanina, it comes actually from a movie entitled The Rainbow Troop, which I think is available on YouTube. It's a story about friendship. So you might want to watch that movie. So,
By the
we
way, I
have
think
our
Tommy is watching.
Tommy sang the solo. This
Hi,
is our
Tommy.
feel good playlist. So we have Eres to here. So Comdabitude na mentioned din. Lang Porta Sila Ros is also another favorite of both Mads and non-Mads. And we also see Sempurna, Hasta la Eternidad,
Of course, yeah.
yes, and so on and so forth. So feel good lang, 'di ba? Wala namang no other emotional baggage, but it just gives that joy and that very, very nice, calm.
So interesting. The other big name in that list was Eres 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I think a lot of
Eres 2.
Filipinos know Eres 2.
Yes.
Okay, why don't we? One of our listeners was the one who sent this in.
Yes.
So can we?
Hi, I'm Mark Iba from Las Piñas City. My most favorite hugot song from the Madz is Eres 2. I know it's a foreign language song, but even if you really don't understand the meaning, you can still feel the emotions of the song, which is about love and adoration of someone that you care for. And it's my favorite song because it gives me peace whenever I listen to it. I usually play it when I go to work, when I want to relax before I sleep. So it really gives me that sense of comfort whenever I listen to it. Thank you.
Nice.
So this arrangement
Thank you, Mads.
This arrangement was written by Robert Delgado, and it has been very popular, especially of late during the YouTube times and the cell phone recording times. But what the listeners must know is that this is the second version of the Madz arrangement, because before there was a Delgado arrangement, there was the Ed Nepomuceno Eres 2. So the Robert Delgado arrangement, Robert Delgado did not write the arrangement to say, ay, ayoko sa kay Edmund Pumoseno arrangement, gagawa ko ng bago. That's not the story. The story was, he did not write it for the Madz. I was the conductor of UP Los Baños Choral Ensemble before. And so I actually asked Robert to arrange that for UPLB Choral Ensemble. And happily, it made its way back home into the Madz. So now, I'd like you to listen to Edne Pumoseno talk about the first arrangement of Veyra's 2. Because you probably have to search a little bit deeper for that because this is pre-YouTube, pre-Facebook, pre-Instagram days. So let's listen to Ed Nepomuceno talk about the first RS2 arrangement, the original RS arrangement.
Hello, Madz family. My name is Ed Nepomuceno, and thank you so much. I'm deeply humbled for your nomination of my arreglo of RS2. OA asked me, always asked me songs to be arranged. So that was 1987, mid-87. And she asked me if I can arrange that song. So that was my graduation year. So nung nag-graduate ako, I simply felt na, ito na yung magiging first arreglo ko after my graduation. So parang, yes, I approached it with yung maraming modulation kasi during that time different keys in one song tapos puro modulation. So yun yung iniisip ko, pero gusto ko simple lang and simple. Ang motto namin noong time was simple but agogo. So anyway, I love the medyo hair raising pa rin every time I hear choir singing it, no matter how they did it, but it feels so wonderful. I tried to do these progressions na I learned from mga harang-harang, and yun yung ginagamit ko. Sabi ko, I try to experiment all the ways on how to make a modulation na hindi mukhang modulation, parang just change into a different key. So yes, I love it. The changes in the arrangement I would want to do, maybe a little of the ending, but that's about it. The rest is I still here racing for me. Salamat, Madz. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Kuya Ed. So that's the first version of RS2.
Belated happy birthday,
Ed!
Belated happy birthday
happy
po.
birthday! Maligayang
Maligayang
bati
bati.
sa iyong pagtanda.
Yes.
So yun yung ano. So
I had a short conversation with Ed just before the show, and then I sent him this clip. I said, Ed, ito yung arreglo mo, no? Sabi ko, he hasn't heard it in a long time. Sabi, in the video, he said, if I would change a little of the arrangement, I would change the ending. He sent me a note on Messenger. He said, I take that back. I will not change it anymore. Okay pala yung interpretation ni Ma'am Owen. Okay na yan.
Yes.
So, binabawi daw niya. Ayaw daw niya ipalitan na okay na daw siya doon.
That particular version was sung by the 1996 batch of the Madz.
Saan madidinig po yung bit? May nasa Spotify?
Wala.
So to our listeners, you will hear bits and clips of music that is not published outside.
Yes.
And you will be pointed out to we will point you to certain kinds of songs that you probably did not. So keep listening to us because we will drop little bits of hints and tidbits along the way. And kung madaming likes, post from the baul. From the baul.
and maybe the good lesson from this is, of course, we want to explore on different arrangements of a song, kahit na it's already in your repertoire. So the other choirs may also want to do the same thing. You may hear a certain song interpreted by the Madz or an arrangement from the Madz. Then maybe you can encourage your own members to make an arrangement of their own. So yun.
Yes.
So at this point, I think so we've been hearing yung hugot playlist ni ganyan, yung hugot ni Leo, ni Marvin ganyan. What if we knew what was on Ma'am OA's playlist?
Ano yung hugot ni Ma'am OA? Professor
kaya?
Andrea Veneracion's hugot song. Ano kaya yun?
Yeah, let's watch the video.
Hi everyone, hello Madz. I'm Aurelia Malvar Seiler. My family and Madz close friends call me Baby or Toneladas Cargadas y Balikbayan Box. In short, 10K, long story. I think the most touching or most hugot song for me would be Paraiso, words and music by Sir Ryan Kayabia, my music teacher, and arranged by my good friend of mine, Christopher Borrella. And the title Paraiso is ironic to its title because Paraiso means paradise, but it's about the song is about the demeaning or humiliating environment filled with garbage and smog. And this song reminds me of the poor children in the Philippines there in Smoky Mountain. Yeah, and I think I know also the most heartfelt song of Ma'am OA, the founder of the Madz. And this song would be You Are the Love of My Life. She asked Robert Delgado to arrange it, and we later on discovered why. Because this was her personal love song for her one and only love of her life, Dr. Felipe Veneracion, who we all call Doc. So, my last message. So, understand or study the background of the song, because if you know the song, you will really feel it, and in that way your listener will also feel your song. So let the music touch our souls. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Mabuhay. Salamat.
No one's ever touched me quite the way you touched me. It was such a lifetime to find what we have. You are the love of my life. One thing that's good.
May mga parang
Ate Baby, you're so cute.
Ate Baby.
Mga Ate Baby, parang may birds of paradise.
Yan yung Paraiso.
Diba? So I think if I was in that batch who knew that You Are the Love of My Life was Ma'am OA's theme song for Doc, I would really sing it beautifully. So tama yung sinabi ni Ate Baby, it's nice to know the story behind these songs, and probably also the stories behind the arrangement themselves, because maybe it will help you interpret the song better. Can I just say hi to Alfred Samonde? Kasi naalala ko bigla. This song was our duet when we were still singing with the chorus and Binildo.
Hi, Kuya.
So, kinatay din namin yun. So, hi, Alfred Samonte. So, yun.
During parties, pag may mga parties, and then you sometimes the Madz will sing, yan, gusto ni Doc kinakanta ito. At saka bubulong-bulong si Doc na yung gano'n, yung kanina, alam na ni Ma'am. So kakantahin naman ni Ma'am. So ang cute nilang dalawa. Kasi one is requesting the song, the other will give in. Pero kunwari, I'm the choir master, I will sing for the public. Bakit huwag ka mag-request dyan, ha, Doc? Tumahimik lang niya sa tabi. But she gives in to him. Ang cute-cute nilang dalawa.
Pero it does happen, no? So I think, no, are we nearing our end of the program already, or?
Yes, we are. We still have 15 minutes.
Oh, ang bilis.
15 minutes. Ang bilis natin.
Marami pang kwento.
More. Game! I will take this opportunity to say hello to the people who are now watching us. I would like to say, of course, hi, Sir Mark. Sir Mark tuned in very, very early tonight.
Hello.
Also,
Hi, Sir Mark.
Doc Arwin Tan. Of course, Sir Robert Delgado is watching.
Hi, Sir Robert.
Hi, Robert. And Pedro from our good friend Pedro from Valencia, Spain.
Hola!
We also
Hi,
have someone from Grand Rapids, audience from Grand Rapids. Candy from Italy is also watching. Mr. Thomas Schule is also watching. Our good friend from Indonesia, Rhino, is watching.
Hello. Hi.
At saka, yung
Dami.
mga Madz na nagko-comment sa ating sa ating post na they
Hi,
say
guys.
they don't understand why they are ugly crying at this very moment.
Oh my God.
Kat Oliver and Ate Diday, the daughter of Ma'am Oy, is also watching and
Hi,
ugly
Ate
crying.
Kat.
Si Diday daw buong show daw kanina pa siya sige ugly cry. Sabi niya, hindi ko alam bakit nag-ugly cry ako. Sabi niya, Odette, alam mo iyakin tayo lahat.
So maybe from our at this point in time, maybe we can ask our guests for tonight. So Olette, thank you very much for saying yes to our invitation. Some say maybe a takeaway from this evening, lesson learned, an insight, or whatever. Let's start with sinong gustong mauna?
Sino ba? Ako
Leo.
na lang. Ay,
Sige. Sige, go. Go ahead, Kat.
Okay. Thank you again for inviting me. Sobrang nakakamiss kayong lahat. Hi to everyone. And my take home for everybody is to take all of your hugot and transform it to something beautiful and meaningful in your life. Make it beautiful every day. And siguro kung playlist, we sang this song recently during my last year with the Madz siguro. It's the song You Have More Friends Than You Know. So it's a friendship hugot. So I grew to love the song. It's by Jeff Marks and Neri Warren, and it's popularized by Voctave, I think, and in Glee. So it's really touching. It's very, very touching song, and you can look it up. It's in YouTube, I think, and Spotify, and I believe you will be touched by the song. And thank you sa lahat, and good evening.
Thank you, Kat. Marvin, our
Naku.
from New York.
Actually, yung mga nag-message sa akin, may mga, nung nag-post ako kahapon, akala nila, kakanta.
Akala din nila.
For concert. For concert.
Sabay-sabay lahat.
No, actually, kapopost, magpapasalamat ako dun sa nag-invite sa akin na kumanta ng Huwag Ka Mangamba. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, nagka-COVID po ako. And alive and kicking. So very meaningful sa akin yung Huwag Kang Mangamba na kinanta ko a few weeks ago. Salamat sa inyo, VC6. But sa akin as a former Madz. Actually, I'm not saying a former Madz. I'm a Madz forever, right?
Yes.
I'm wearing my Madz shirt.
Hindi sinole.
Hindi nakasya yung akin.
Hindi sinole.
Ay.
Wearing my Madz shirt. I think hindi lang basta Madz ang makaka-relate dito sa statement ko. Sa lahat ng mga korista, sa lahat ng mga nganta, sa lahat ng performers, actually artists, at sa lahat siguro ng tao. Hindi siya aside from the meaning of the song, malungkot, masaya, anything na kanta, it's about the journey. Like for example, sa akin, humble beginnings sa CIC Coral, nung college ako, nung high school ako, hanggang sa pagiging Madz. Yung sacrifices mo yung contribution ng mga taong behind nung organization, ng grupo, mga host families mo na naging pamilya mo na, naging kaibigan mo na, mga Madz at mga fans na naging kaibigan mo na, sila yung bumubuo kung paano ka makakahugot ng kanta. Hindi basta particular lang dun sa specific, yung meaning ng song, kundi dun mo ibubuhos yung energy mo na sila ang bumubuo sa'yo. Connected tayo lahat from the time na nag-start yung Madz or even before nag-start yung Madz, yung mga nakilala ni Ma'am OA, kaya nabuo yung vision niya. Para tayo ay magkaisa, to unite people, to have friends, to have family, and to spend a good quality life. Di ba? Kahit may negative energy dyan, ipasok mo sa kanta, kantahin mo ng maayos, and then make friends and be at peace. Yun ang para sa akin.
Thank you, Marvin. That was beautiful. Thank you. And
Yes, thank you, Marvin.
Leo?
Ako, ano ba, ang takeaway ko is probably we're always taught to sing. I've included this in my last video, but whenever I perform or as a korista, di ba, sa mga lahat ng korista, we perform for that person in the audience. So for me, is to sing technically proficient as a singer, technically proficient but not losing the heart. So Ma'am OA always taught us to sing with the heart, you know, because I think that's one thing that Filipinos are more known for, yan, para to sing with the heart. Kasi you can be technically proficient, perfect, yeah, pero if you don't sing with your emotions or to that person, or sing between the lines and sing between the notes, maski ulang yan, dapat may pinaghuhugutan ka pa rin ng umo.
Yes. Yes.
Paano pag dum 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 dum?
Dum dum
Meron pa din.
In between ng dum 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 mo.
Kailangan.
But yes, but seriously, I think most of us are most Filipinos are really love to sing and really love to perform or make music. So it's always just inspiring people to be hopeful in a sense, that we have a better tomorrow. Cheesy may it sounds, but it's true.
But it's true. But it's true. So once again, thank you very much, Kat, Marvin, and Leo. Marvin and Leo from New York.
Yay, thank you.
Odette, there are some of the Madz are listening in and may mga pahabol ng mga messages. So Dida Veneracion Alcudia, daughter of Ma'am OA, said, hindi lang You Are the Love of My Life ang hugot song ni Ma'am OA, according to her youngest daughter. Ang isa pang hugot song ni Ma'am OA, one of the songs that she was responsible for bringing out into the world, especially here in this part of the world, is Alleluia Thompson. Dida remembers that we sang it for her at a birthday or something in Santa Maria de la Estrada, and sabi ni Diday, doon si Mami nag-ugly cry kasi kinantahan niyo siya ng Alleluia Thompson. But kami mga Madz, nag-ugly cry during the necrological services of Ma'am OA at the CCP when she passed away, National Artist Necrological Services. So all of the Madz, we were how many on stage? And across the generation from 1963 up to now, everybody knows Alleluia Thompson, although we don't perform it very frequently now on stage. So we had this most hugot Alleluia Thompson ever. And kahit humagulgul ka na, you cannot stop because Ma'am OA does not allow you to stop singing no matter what is happening. So we sang this most hugot Alleluia Thompson when she passed away. So that's one. Si Candy naman from Italy has something to say. She just said she just wants to leave behind a short comment, and let me just pull it up. She said, the emotion that can break your heart is the one that heals it. Thank you, Candy, for that thought.
Thank you. Wow. Wala na akong masabi.
Also,
since Alfred is already mentioning all these things, there's a comment section. We also want to tell our listeners that we hear you. I think there are a lot of suggestions now coming in for the future episodes of Madz Talk.
Thank you.
We will have next Sunday yung kakambal ng huhuhu. Siyempre, kailangan merong hahaha. Something to look forward to because I'm sure you will love our guest panelists for next Sunday din. Masaya din yung next Sunday. So,
pwede mag-share ng kwento dyan, di ba?
Oo, sige, mag-share ka dun sa comment. So are we ending now, Alfred?
Yes. Let's hear from our all-time hugot.
Okay. We will not, of course, we will leave you with two things. So before we go off air, we will leave you first with of course, this evening will not be complete without hearing from the Madz ultimate hugot king, Mr. Edward Garadosin. He shares, his insights and a few words of wisdom. At saka may konting kanta, syempre.
Idol.
And we end,
Idol.
of course, we say goodbye to another hugot song that is not very, maybe a lot of us have not heard before, but it's entitled Softly. So again, on behalf of Alfred de Veyra and Saga, Marvin and Leo, I'm
Salamat.
Claudette Galura. See you again
Thank
next
you.
Sunday. Bye.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Edward Granadosin po ito. I am just blessed and glad na yun hong naging buhay ko sa Madrigal is such a wonderful experience. Of course, sa musical career ko po, it added so much knowledge, so much, of course, the tour, the countries that we went to and visited, and of course the concerts and yung mga experiences with Mamo OA and the rest of the gang. Talagang priceless po, masasabi kong priceless. Hindi ko maipagkakaila. The song Ikaw Ang Lahat Sa Akin became parang signature song ko as I was part of Madz during back in the days. Kung saan man galing yung hugot na yon, of course, is the mystery behind the singer. Each one of us kasi meron tayong of course, pinanghuhugutan. Ako siguro yung pinanghuhugutan ko whenever I sing is you become the song. You become not just the part of the song, but you become the song. Parang yung awit na yun ginawa para sa'yo. So, bawat words na kinakanta mo, bawat linya na kinakanta mo, ninanamnam mo yun. At syempre, kung love song, para kang nanliligaw o nakikipag-usap sa isang individual. Not in a very pretentious way, but yung totoo talaga. So, yung paraan is yung very natural way ninyo na kung paano nyo sasabihin, ganun nyo din kakantahin. So the way I do it, very natural on my part. Kung kakantahin ko yung Ikaw Ang Lahat, kakantahin ko sa iyo yun. Ikaw ang lahat sa akin, kahit ikay. Yung mata, lalo na yung mata. Nangungusap daw yun sabi ni Ma'am. Use your eyes as you sing. Mas lalo mong ini-internalize yung mga words na sinasabi mo para mag-radiate sa heart mo. Hindi sapat for you to have a beautiful voice. Hindi kulang pa yun It's really for you to have a beautiful heart as you are singing. Very natural, very personal, ganon. Be it in solo or group singing, laging nararamdaman mo yun, yung puso, yung heartbeat mo, ramdam mo yun. Pag kumakanta kayo, laging puso. In one group naman ramdam naman yun ng ating audience, di ba? Yung heart na sinasabi. Si Ma'am, lagi heart, yung puso ninyo, lagi. Nung tour namin, yung tour namin sa Europe, kumakanta kami ng Tagalog song, love song. Yung audience namin umiiyak. Sabi niyo, ba't kaya umiiyak yun? Yung pala ramdam nila yung pag-awit namin. So just be natural. Tsaka yung intention ninyo is to share, of course, the music that you have. And of course, nakikita nyo siguro, pastor na ako. So lahat to ng ginagawa natin talaga, syempre, to honor and glorify our Lord, di ba? Lahat ng mga awitin ng Madrigal talaga namang moment ng isang member, di ba? So yun yung mga hugot songs ko nung parte po ako ng Madrigal. Okay? So wag niyo kalilimutan the heart.
We're still
So we are
Akala ko babay na tayo.
Goodbye. Okay. So we're leaving you. We're leaving you with this song, and why did we choose this song? Because in every tour of the Madz, when we leave our country, our hosts, our festivals, our competitions, we come as choirs, but we leave as family and friends. So parati namin to kinakanta sa bus stations, sa train stations, sa parking lots, sa driveways. When we say goodbye to our hosts. This is a recording from 1983, so forgive the technology from 1983, and you will not find it outside in YouTube or anything else. My voice is in that 1983. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time, ito na yon. We leave you with all the good hugot in the world. See you next week. Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for
Family and
watching.
friends.